Good day, everyone.
I was born and raised in Detroit. Growing up there, I saw people like me running things.
This is a courtroom, not a circus, so we're gonna calm down.
I'm sorry.
What I found there was a passion that I didn't know existed.
This is the bottom line.
I'm excited to free fall into the limitless possibilities with we the people. So many are fearful of the law. They think it's something that works against them.
I think you need to begin to accept responsibility for your mistakes.
We are the people.
Christina Ellsworth claims she was wrongfully terminated as a school teacher after she posted explicit photos of herself online to make money.
All rise.
Nathaniel Cooper says the defendant violated her employment contract.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lauren Lake presiding.
Thank you. You may be seated.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Good day, everyone.
Good day, Your Honor.
This is the case of Ellsworth versus Cooper. Ms. Ellsworth, you are suing Mr. Cooper for $10,000 in lost wages. You say you were terminated when your school found out about explicit photos of you online. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Defendant, you say the plaintiff was fired due to failing to uphold the school's values and not because of her private life. That's
That is correct, Your Honor.
So now, Ms. Ellsworth, tell me about these pictures. These pictures got you fired?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. However, this business of my pictures were very much kept private, and I actually had been doing this long before I was ever involved with Mayestay. I'm actually kind of confused as to how he even got the pictures, as I've always used a pseudonym. I'm a teacher, I'm not stupid.
Okay, so you're a teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Working at Mr.
Mayestay.
Cooper's school.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And how long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching now for 4 years. 2 years of that time was spent at Mayestay.
All right, so 4 years, teacher, what do you teach?
I teach English.
English, all
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Is it high school? Is it
6th to 12th graders.
6th to 12th graders? Okay, so you've been a teacher, and you had some photos of yourself that you put online or that were put online?
I had put these photos online.
Okay, so talk to me about that. What made you make the choice to put photos, and I'm assuming if they got you fired, that these photos were a tad bit risque?
Well, risque if you hit the button to subscribe and pay money, then
So
yes.
you have to subscribe?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes, Your
pay
Honor.
money?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ones that he was seeing that were just on the website, I was completely clothed. You could only see my face. And again, I used a pseudonym as Jade Fox.
So you had a pseudonym?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Cooper, how did you find out about these pictures? What's your position at the school?
I'm the headmaster, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're the head of the school. How did you find out? Now, Ms. Ellsworth says she put them up on her own. You put them up, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But
Years
under a
ago.
pseudonym, and you had to subscribe and pay. How did you find out about the pictures?
An individual who wishes to remain anonymous came to me that they had found these images online while very inappropriately surfing the internet, I might add. I did not make any assumptions. I called Miss Ellsworth into my office and confronted her with the images and asked her straight out if these were her, if she had put them on there, and she fully admitted that it was her.
Now, were these images that had your face attached? Does anybody bring the pictures with them?
Yes, Your Honor. I
I'd
do
like to
have
see
the
them,
pictures.
please. So these are images with your face?
Yes, it's my face, and as you can see, Your Honor, they're very tasteful, and I am fully clothed.
Okay, so they are in a bathing suit, but they're kind of sexual in nature. Get me back, Mr. Cooper, to the person who found these and brought them to your attention.
It's a person who I have the utmost faith and confidence in. I trust them implicitly. They came to me in confidence.
Okay, so, but the point is, do they work for you? Was this at your point of,
Yes,
were you
yes,
employed? And you didn't have that person do an affidavit or anything about how they found these pictures?
No, Your Honor, I did
Bottom
not.
line is they came to your attention.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this you? Was you on there?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, because you know you swore to tell the truth.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So you see the pictures and then you call Miss Ellsworth into your office.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you call her into the office, what was that meeting about?
I simply wished to bring to her attention some disturbing images that I had been shown, and I simply wished to know if they were her, if she knew about them, and what we could do to rectify the situation if they weren't actually her and they weren't posted by her, then we could possibly take legal action in order to help her get rid of them.
Thinking somebody might have posted, because you hear about that now. It's so crazy online, right? But when you did speak to her, Miss Ellsworth, you basically said, no, it's me.
Absolutely. I have
Okay.
nothing to hide. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was
Okay.
just trying to make ends meet.
So you were trying to make ends meet.
Yes, ma'am.
We all know a teacher's salary is not what it should be.
Correct, Your Honor.
And teachers should be making far more. So your way of making ends meet, making extra money, was to, is this like one of these, like an OnlyFans, like you have to pay and then people get to look at your pictures?
Yes, Your Honor. So they can't really get any further than what you've seen yourself there without paying.
Coming up,
To become somebody famous in this kind of industry, you really have to try. I had a few thousand followers and I had stopped posting new content as of my hire date when I got hired with MASD.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Christina Ellsworth and Nathaniel Cooper over explicit online photos.
When you subscribe, then you get to pictures that are more like the one next to it.
Yes, that would be correct. They'd be a little more provocative than that, though. Still tastefully done, but again, you have to pay to see them. So these pictures that he's saying he got, I mean, I've seen other young ladies.
So when you got this job,
Yes, ma'am.
was there a morality clause? Was there anything that would say, hey, this type of behavior we do not tolerate, we cannot allow this? Because at the end of the day, we are dealing with minors. This is a school, 6 to 12 years old. These are minors, right? This is the same age as my son. Can you tell me, Mr. Cooper, what your policy is, and did you bring the employment contract so that I can take a look at it?
I did, Your Honor. I have a copy right here.
Let me see it, please.
If you look at sections 5
you.
and 7, section 5 states that above all else, that the employees of Manus Dei will do their best and utmost to uphold the moral and ethical fibers of the school. And section 7 says that if during the course of their employment I have, as headmaster, the right to terminate them if I feel that they have violated those moral and ethical standards.
If you'll see, Your Honor, under point 5, it does say while in your duties as an educator. When I go home and close my door, that's my private space.
I would postulate, Your Honor, that as an educator, because teachers do take their students' homework home with them, that they accept a laxed amount of privacy being an educator, and that they should hold themselves to a higher standard in private than they do in public.
And I absolutely did. I did my research. I looked online. I saw how to become somebody famous in this kind of industry, you really have to try. I had a few thousand followers, and I had stopped posting new content as of my hire date when I got hired with MASD.
But she did nothing to take the website down, Your Honor.
All right, so Section 8 says, the employer reserves the right to terminate this agreement if the employee fails to perform the duties in a professional manner or in a manner reflecting the values and morals of Manus Dei Preparatory School's faith-based curriculum. All right, so the issue becomes whether this conduct violates basically your employment contract. This is faith-based, which it continues to say throughout this agreement. Why, Ms. Ellsworth, did you make this choice? I mean, and let's be clear, I recognize that people posting photos online, sexy photos, is a way to make money. That is just the way of the world now. But if you are a teacher at a faith-based school, why wouldn't you make the choice to maybe get a different type of part-time employment that would not put your main job in jeopardy? Because you had to know that these particular photos may be problematic given what you signed here.
Correct, Your Honor, I did. That's actually why I had stopped making any new content for my page, and I was just allowing it to kind of generate the money that it already had been, making ends meet for me. I only make $60,000 a year, which is about $5,000 a month, and I needed something to make ends meet. So I was just continuing something that I didn't need to update, so I'm really not adding to it, but I'm still able to generate money off of it, so why would I take it down?
Well, you might take it down because you decided to go work at a faith-based school that has a clear statement about what is expected. Now, listen, maybe if you were working somewhere else and it had nothing to do with minors and teaching minors. Did any of the kids see this?
Absolutely not, Your Honor. I don't believe they did.
I'm aware of it. Has not been brought to my attention that any of the students have seen it.
And see, this is the problem with this stuff online. Even though you have to pay to access the photos, once that person accesses the photos, nothing stops that person from screenshotting that, sharing it, or in this case, showing it to your head of school. Did you think that through?
Well, yes, Your Honor, I did. Actually, for my site specifically, you can't take a screenshot. If you take a screenshot, it's just going to turn up as a black image. I also have kept my tattoos very much hidden and a secret, which is another kind of curious thing to me about how he knew exactly that this was me. The only tattoo he's ever seen is the one on my hand, and this one, as you can see, shows the rest of my tattoos. So it led me to believe that he got this image and this information in some sort of nefarious way.
So wait, so how does somebody that subscribes, how would he get the photo? How would that person get the photo?
He would have to pay for the photo. So first he would pay for it and then the photo would generate. But even still, once you got the salacious photo, you cannot screenshot it because you screenshot it and it takes a black photo.
So Ms. Ellsworth, how much do you make as a teacher at this school?
I make $60,000 a year, which breaks down to $5,000 a month, Your Honor.
Okay, and then are you married? Do you share expenses with anyone?
No, Your Honor, I'm paying for everything on my own.
So you're managing everything on your own. Any children?
No, no children.
All right, so you're managing all of this on your own car, your own everything on this pay.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And what was her reputation at the school, Mr. Cooper?
Impeccable, Your Honor. She's a fantastic teacher, a fantastic educator. I've heard nothing but good things from staff and students alike ever since she joined us.
Which is why I was so confused, Your Honor. I've never had anyone report anything bad. I've never had any negligence from my students or anything like that.
And you've presented to the court some text messages.
That's correct, Your Honor. Those are both from teachers that work with me.
You're one of the best teachers I've ever worked with. I don't think any less of you. It's nobody's business but your own, and I think it's horrible the way you've been treated.
Coming up,
The problem is the contract says explicitly you have to handle yourself in a professional manner and in a manner reflecting the values and morals of the academy. Now, at the end of the day, we have to take into account that this school serves minors.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Christina Ellsworth and Nathaniel Cooper over explicit online photos.
So you've got support from various people on the staff, which is wonderful. And this is what makes this so difficult, is because I'm sure you were a great teacher. I'm sure you did need the money. The problem is the contract says explicitly that you have to handle yourself in a professional manner and in a manner reflecting the values and morals of the academy. Now, at the end of the day, we have to take into account that this school serves minors. And it's this court's opinion that it is just far too easy for a child to see these photos of you and to get a hold of those. Just the same way they came to the head of school, they could have come to a child. What I'm concerned about is if she's such a great teacher, then why didn't you just tell her, take it down?
I asked her if she would remove it, Your Honor, and I never got a response back from that.
So you weren't willing to remove it to keep your job?
That's not correct, Your Honor. He brought me in his office. He had clearly had some kind of issue with me, and I had no reason to be concerned because, as far as I knew, I was doing everything I needed to do in my job and then some, and had great relationships with my colleagues as well as my students. In that moment, he flipped around his computer screen, showing my website there to me and asked me what this was about.
No, my point is when he said, and can you take this down?
He didn't ask me if I could take it down.
Because this isn't appropriate for a teacher at this school, and you chose not to.
No, ma'am. He didn't ask me to take it down. He walked me out of the building.
Coming up,
I would never ruin my reputation as a teacher and all the money that I've spent on grad school and school for some website. I would just take it down.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Christina Ellsworth and Nathaniel Cooper over explicit online photos.
I asked her if it was a possibility of having the site taken down, and I escorted her from the building, but I never got a response as to whether she would or not.
And so it's your opinion that he never asked you to take the site down?
That's correct, Your Honor. I would never ruin my reputation as a teacher and all the money that I've spent on grad school and school for some website, I would just take it down.
Your testimony started off with, I was doing nothing wrong, and so therefore I left it up because I was performing my duties at school, and it was fine. Now you're testifying that, well, if I would have known I would have lost my job over it, I would have definitely taken it down if he gave me an opportunity to take it down. Why then in that moment when you're about to lose your job and things are going, if you didn't hear him say, will you take it down, why didn't you offer to take it down?
I didn't offer to take it down because I didn't think I had an option at that point. He was walking me out the door.
Right, but you could have followed up with an email. I really want my job. I love my job. I love what I do there. I'm a great teacher. I'm happy to take this down. I don't want it to interfere with my employment. I got 4,782 pieces of paper up here, and I don't have not one email or nobody saying I really want my job. I wasn't aware that this would, conflict in this way. I thought I was doing. Where is the plea for your job?
To be honest, Your Honor, being that Emmaus Day is a spiritual school, I really didn't think I had a leg to stand on at that point. And not to mention the fact that when I did walk through the halls the last 2 days that he allowed me to be in the building, everyone was giving me dirty looks. So apparently rumors had spread pretty widely about what had happened. So again,
well, the problem is that is the exact thing that the clause is there to avoid.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
If those pictures had gotten out in some other way, if someone's dad or some teacher saw it and showed it to other teachers, that entire energy would have happened. And it sounds like to me, as you testify more, that you're a smart woman, you're a teacher. You knew that these pictures did not necessarily connect with the job you were doing, but you were hoping to do both so you could survive financially. I'm not here to beat a woman down that's trying to take care of herself and figure out how to manage. You ain't living off of nobody. You don't have kids either. And when you said that, a light bulb went off to me, because when you are a mother and a parent, and I say this to you earnestly, and you pay for a school, an environment for your child, you do expect the teachers in that school to operate with a certain level of decorum. And it sounds like this is a private school, so they paying too.
Yes, Your Honor.
So basically the parents are the customers. And I don't think any parent wants to know that their child's 7th grade teacher also has lewd and sexy pictures all online, and they're able to go on and subscribe. That crosses the line. For this reason, this court's judgment is for the defendant. Court is adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Doesn't it say in the good book, he, without sin, let him first cast the first stone?
Yes, but in that moment, did Jesus not also tell Mary to go forth and sin no more?
Please, right out this way.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.